Well, hello, November 30th. We meet again. Hey everyone, Steve Trzak here. Of course you know who I am. You're on my page, right? And it is 4:42 Central Standard Time. I have a few short minutes before I jump onto a weekly accountability meeting and a call conversation that I have with, you've probably heard me talk about Promise Keepers in our community and how we're in a 90-day sprint and we're making commitments to ourselves that really have defined and shaped how we have made lifestyle modifications and changes. But I couldn't really let this day end without having a conversation about today in general. And do you ever have that day where it just creates a memory? You just think about, gosh, this day, maybe it's your child's birthday, maybe it's your wedding day, maybe it's you lost a family member, and that day just is very, very memorable. And I reflect on all those days, especially my kids' birthdays and some of the loved ones that have passed on, and you get a chance to think about and honor on those days. And today, November 30th, represents a lot of significance in my life, specifically with my career. And I sit back and I reflect and I think to myself, man, how did I get so lucky? How did I get so fortunate to be in this industry in health, fitness, mindset, lifestyle coaching, life modification? And how am I so different than so many other, we'll call them coaches or trainers or facilitators that are out there? And I honestly can probably point out a few things. And November 30th has a great impact on me because of that. And I'm going to share you a story. So this is like story time. I have till 5 o'clock, so I don't have a ton of time, but at least it gives me an opportunity to at least have a conversation and talk about how it's made such a massive impact in my life and how it's really created a unique entity in who I am and how I best serve people. So if you're here, let me know you're here. Say hello, say hi. If you're watching on the replay, welcome to the replay. If you're catching this somewhere down the road, go back to the beginning and watch. I promise you there's going to be some things you're going to want to take out of this. So November 30th, 2020, and some of the pivots. And by the way, pivot, I think of like, it's easier for me to remember things when I can create an acronym for it. And pivot to me is a powerful, inspiring vision of tomorrow. So think about when you want to make that pivot in your life and you're like, well, how do I make a pivot? Well, what's powerful and inspiring to you? What do you want more of that you don't have currently? And then create that vision and start moving towards it today leading into tomorrow. So a pivot is a powerful, inspiring vision of tomorrow. And I think of November 30th and I think of 2011. 2011, so we're talking 9 years ago, was the last day. And for those that know me, and if you know me for the last 20, 30 years even, you'll know that I worked for a company called P.I.V.O.T.s Fitness. So BTF, bleeding red and black, and sometimes it was teal and black if we go back even to the Chicago Health Club days, was the last day. November 30th, 2011 was the last day that P.I.V.O.T.s Fitness had operated their business. And I worked for that company for 17 years. So I sculpted and cultivated and created really who I am through the opportunity of a health club company. And I learned a ton. I learned a lot what to do and a lot to what I should avoid and stay away from, trust me. But I've built some of the greatest relationships in the health club industry, and I'm so, so grateful for it, and I'm appreciative. I wouldn't necessarily want to go back and relive those days, but I've taken away so much value out of those moments. So November 30th, 2011, P.I.V.O.T.s Fitness closed its doors. I was the general manager at the Cumberland location in Chicago, Illinois, and it was just a very somber day. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. LA Fitness had acquired the company. They acquired the clubs, the equipment, the members, the operations. They acquired everything. And so the proposition was, all right, you can go to LA Fitness. Let's give you an opportunity to see if you're a great fit for the company. And it was honestly like a hazing phase. They really wanted nothing to do with the skills or the talents or what the P.I.V.O.T.s Fitness employees knew. But you had to go through the process. And I lasted about 6 weeks. I lasted 6 weeks in LA Fitness in several different locations. And then I realized after 6 weeks that I had no business doing business with LA Fitness, unfortunately, because I love the industry so much. I love serving, I loved helping, I love transforming, I love creating, I love the relationships. But I just knew it was my time. So it was the end of an era. And that was a pivot for me because I had to create a powerful, inspiring vision of what my tomorrow was going to look like. So I decided to create my own online business. I started creating an entrepreneurship. So I created the Fitastic program, the brand. And so I started creating online fitness programs and doing online nutrition and all those things. And, many, many years later, I'm still doing part of that, but I've expanded, I've branched, I've built some incredible relationships. I've learned, I've grown, I've failed, I've been everything. So much has happened over the last 9 years, but I attribute that to 2011 and me being forced to make a decision. And my decision was I was going to go with LA Fitness. It didn't work out, so I decided to do my own thing. And now I've honestly just never looked back. I have no regrets. No regrets. I don't live in regret. I live for possibilities. Gail, if you're watching this, I live for inspired possibilities because I know my future is always going to be brighter than what I'm currently living. And what I'm currently living has been better than the past. So that was my first November 30th, 2011, big pivot in my life and scary as heck. Did not know what was going to happen, but it's been a godsend. It's been incredible. So, but I want to go step back. I want to go a couple of years prior to that. This is where my life really changed in my job and really converted to a career. So I have only, 6-7 minutes here. So let me give you the Cliff Notes version. November 30th, 2007. I was a fitness manager at one of the locations in the Chicagoland area. It was the last day of the month, and that's one thing I missed. So if you're watching this and you worked at Bally, or if you're in the service industry, or you're in sales, I don't know what it is, and you might completely say I'm off kilter on this, but I enjoy closeouts. I enjoy having the hype and the energy and the atmosphere, and people getting riled up to go serve people and help them get sold into a better position in their life. Their transformations awaits. Hello, I have a visitor. Maybe not. Anyway, so November 30th, 2011. It was a weekday, and we were about $8,000 in the hole. We needed $8,000 to hit our personal training budget. So I was a personal training manager. I was responsible for, assisting with the trainers and development and the coaching, hiring, everything. So everything that was related in that facility, in that club. And my responsibility was also to help new members and assist them into getting to the right routine, the right program, giving them a complimentary fitness assessment, and launching them into the success of being part of the club. November 30th at 1 o'clock. I had a 1 o'clock appointment. Her name was Debbie. Now, Debbie was a really sweet Polish lady. Debbie was a blessing in disguise. She was a sweet lady. She weighed 348 pounds. She was 5'4", and she was the same age as I was at the time, 30 years young. So she was 30 years young, 348, 5'4", and here I am, probably arguably in the best shape of my life. So she was intimidated. Like, she didn't want to come in. She just she had reluctancy in her voice when I was making the confirmation call, having her come in. And so my goal, my intention was, hey, listen, I need as many people in here as possible so that I can present them and give them the great service and get them convinced that our program is the right thing for them so that they can become part of our team and train with us and all those things. But when I met Debbie for the first time, she walked through the door and I saw her and I saw the look on her face and look in her eyes. Something changed in me. There was something about her. I can envision it now. It was a gloomy day. It was overcast. It's easy to be down in a day like that, but there was something about it that said, hey, I am fortunate for this opportunity to meet with Debbie. And I'm like, I want to change her life. This is something I really want to make an impact with her. So she sat down, we went over a PARQ. It's a physical activity readiness questionnaire. So it basically goes over the history, what are her goals, what are her intentions, does she have any injuries or health ailments? And we sat down and went over the questions. So going over what her history is, and she was just, again, very closed off, very sheltered. I built some rapport with her. I built a lot of rapport with her, and just opening her up so that she felt more comfortable. Like, nobody makes a great decision. Nobody wants to do anything when they're closed in and they're hesitant and they're nervous or they have anxiety or fearful or worried. So it's just like, hey, open up, just have a great conversation with me. Let's talk about why you're here, what your intention is, how can we help you out. Clearly, we know what her goal was. She needed to lose a lot of weight. She needed to transform her life. So went through the front page, the front half, took her to the gym floor, had a great session for what she was capable of doing, to her potential. Went through some cardio work. It was like 4 minutes of treadmill. She was sweating profusely. She was huffing and puffing, breathing heavy. We did a couple step-ups, light dumbbells, nothing. I wasn't trying to slaughter her. I was just trying to get her to understand what her body needs in order to be more efficient and to create a sense of sustainability. Like, she needs to be doing this consistently over time. I'll never tell you that you can go into the gym and exercise for 3 days and you're going to be as fit as a fiddle and you'll never have to work out the rest of your life because you're going to be fit and you can just maintain it from there. It's not how it works. So we broke it down. So then we got back into the office. We went over a few more questions on the back of the sheet. There was a question on there, and she was really laboring in her breathing. She was just sitting down and, again, just pouring. Her emotions were coming out. She really is like, she's like, I don't know how I got to this position. How did I let myself get this far down? I said, listen, I'm going to meet you halfway. Like, it's all right. Your healthy future does not require a healthy past. It doesn't matter what you did in the past. It's what are you willing to take ownership of today and move forward so that we can take those small incremental steps. Anyway, there was a question on the back of the PAR-Q. The question was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about you accomplishing your fitness goal, about you starting an exercise program? She circled a 6. So 1 through 10, she circled a 6. I didn't see that in the beginning. I wasn't focused on the back of the form. I was focused on just me being present with Debbie. I was a little taken back. I sat back and I was back in my chair like this. I said, Debbie, I got to be honest. You circle a 6 out of 10. You're 348 pounds. You're 30 years young. You have kids, which, yeah, she did have children. I believe she had 2 children. And if you continue this process, where are you going to end up? Like, what does your life look like if you continue this? I'm surprised you even showed up. I'm surprised you showed up for this assessment. She looked at me and said, she started really getting emotional. At this point, she's starting to break down. She said, Steve, honestly, it was either this or getting weight loss surgery. It was lap band at the time. And I thought to myself, instantly, this little bit of fury and not at the time, I'm much different than I am now. And still, I might have some fury and rage. Who knows now? But anyway, I was a little furious. I said, Debbie, listen, please. What got you in this situation was your lack of physical activity, your lack of proper nutrition, your lack of sleep, your elevated stress, you're not drinking enough, you're not hydrated well enough. So I started labeling these things off. And what I said was, your weight loss procedure, those aren't going to train you or condition you to do those things and retrain you or reframe your mindset and your thought and your belief of yourself to do so. She got it. She understood because we were building that type of relationship. She started really getting upset. She was really confused. What do I do? Where do I go? How, I just feel like I won't be able to do it. I've got myself in this position. I said, Debbie, right here in her eyes, I said, Debbie, when you get out of the shower, be 100% honest with me and yourself. When you get out of the shower, and maybe you have a towel on, maybe you don't, but you'll look in the mirror right in front of the shower. What do you see? She paused, crying, bawling. Steve, what I see is when I look in the mirrors, I see 200 pounds of fat that I have to lose off my body. I've never said this before. I don't know where this came from, but it altered the course of my life. Talk about a pivot here. Instinctively, I said, Debbie, I don't see 200 pounds of body fat that you need to lose. I see 200 pounds of broken promises to yourself. You can imagine the look she gave me. I can still imagine it. She was like, no, you did. Like, no, you, oh, hey. No, but she got it. She got it. She goes, I did this to myself. Like, she knew it. 200 pounds of broken promises to yourself, I told her. I don't know where it came from. I got the goosebumps just even saying it. She took her credit card, put it down. She bought the biggest package that we had. It was like a $4,000 package. It wasn't about the money at the time. It wasn't about her investing. It was about saving Debbie's life. I got 1 minute left. That transpired into almost a movement for me because I used that as leverage for other people when I had conversations to get them to understand that you need to be a promise keeper back in your life. You don't, it's not the circumstance, it's not the situation. You're not the victim of what's happening. You've become a promise breaker in your life, hence creating the condition that you're in. And there's no shame in changing a condition that you're not satisfied with. The shame would be staying in it. So that changed and altered the entire course. November 30th, 2007. I've been talking about it more. I've been reminiscing about it. I've been thinking about it. And it's changing the course of how I'm helping people become committed again in their own life with confidence. Confidence is the thing. Folks, if you're watching this if you're on the replay, welcome to the replay. Go watch this from the beginning. Confidence. You don't feel you have confidence because you've been breaking the promises to yourself. I've been saying this in my content for as long as I can remember, probably since 2007. But self-confidence is the process and habit of making and keeping the promises that you make to yourself. Think about that. You want confidence? Commit and satisfy the promise that you make to yourself, whether it's spoken or silent. I got to fly. I got myself a weekly accountability call that I need to be on. And now you got me all inspired to go continue elevating other people that want to make a difference in their life. So listen, I appreciate you. Happy Monday. Make it a Monday worth repeating. Any questions, drop down below. I appreciate you all. And make this year, listen, we're not done. We have 32 days. We have 32 days left of this year. It's not over. Stop looking forward to 2021. You have 2020 still to finish out strong. Anything I can do to better serve you, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you. Let's go.